All right, just got to the run. Gonna tie on this black and purple mole leech. Water's pretty clear, pretty dark day. Going old school, dark day, dark fly. Probably doesn't matter, but helps you fish more confidently. Go for it. So this is a pretty classic bucket setup. So we have a deep pool here, probably 6 feet deep. Slack inside water. You can see we have a main current coming on the far side off of this riffle. That's only about 2 feet deep. So I'm just gonna start really short, 10, 12 feet of line out, not even the head out of the tip of the rod yet. And I already fished all of that riffle. So in these buckets, I really like to cast straight across into the fast stuff. You know, I could imagine the fish is gonna be sitting right here. I wanna be at their, you know, face level by that point in the fast water, so that when it comes to where I think they're sitting, it's at face level. I think one of the cardinal sins of winter steelheading swinging flies is working out line and stepping at the same time when you enter a run. One or the other, but definitely not both. So I'm gonna stand here, even though it feels boring, in the same spot, not move at all, until I've worked out enough line to the point where I'm making the cast that I wanna cast the whole way down. Now, there's some trees and stuff hanging over that side. I'm just clearing, making my perfect cast. Now I'm gonna step. In summer, you can get away with, 4 or 5 stepping. Winter, the water is 38 degrees right now. It's cold. These fish don't want to move a ton. That's why a lot of the times gear fishing is so effective, because you're dead drifting, right? It's coming right to their face. So when you're swinging a fly in cold water, step once or twice. That way, step once or twice, make sure you're getting it down to them before where you think they are. So cast way over there, even holding some line, let that drop. It's in the current. They're probably sitting right on the side of that current. So now, if there was a fish at the head of this bucket, I would probably get grabbed right about there. So all I've got is some sink 6, 10 feet of sink 6. This is small water, so I'm just using an OPST Commando head, 375 grains on a 7-weight, 11-foot Sage X switch rod. And then 15-pound test fluoro down to that mole leech. Hope you're all having a great start to your week. Starting my week off swinging flies. Pretty good day. Pretty good week. Hope you're all doing well. I'm going to swing through this. If anything cool happens, I'll check in with you. If not, I'll see you at the next run. Now, one thing you might have picked up on is that, I'm using a Skagit head. It's winter, 10 feet of sink 6. I'm single spay casting. And there's a reason for that. And that's a technique me and Connor have kind of come to primarily use in these small rivers and even on bigger rivers. A lot of people think, touch and go, single spay casting is just for summer scanty lines, and that's just not true. And I think it gives you a strategic advantage as well. You can see where I'm wading. I'm standing in 4 inches of water here. This is a small tributary. So if you're fishing a, small tributary, small coastal stream for steelhead, use an 11-foot rod, 375 grain head, everything sized down. And what that single spay does is it allows me to be a whole lot more stealthy, because you're pushing all the fish to something a lot more narrow. They're in my opinion, I think they're on higher alert. Birds of prey. It's still early. There's big salmon in the water. I think the steelhead can be a little skittish. Now look at the difference seeing me single spay. If I were to come in here and, rip some line off the water like that and smack it down, that doesn't exactly me the most confidence that the fish are going to see my fly first and they're going to be in their natural state. And if they're feeling aggressive, they can hit it. But I want to do everything I can to make sure that when the fly does present well, that fish has no clue that I'm here. They eat it if they want to or not, it's fine. You can do your part to increase your odds of that. And yes, can you snap T quietly? Put it down. You don't have to rip line off the water. You can come around smooth. Sure. Whatever cast you want to use, but smaller water, do it a little bit more stealthy. All right, just walk down to this run. We got awesome diamond chop. And where do we think the fish are going to sit? I always like to just think for a second before I start fishing. Could they sit right here? Of course, right? Back to presentation, can I present super well? Well, not this crazy slack inside over here where it's back eddying, but certainly the softest inside part of this head. Maybe a fish nose right up into that waiting to push up. So we're going to start standing where there could never be a fish and just let out some line and work our way down. fishing this really fast stuff, I like to keep, not so much the mend that's important, but keeping my rod really high and keeping my arm really far out so that the Skagit head isn't being pulled by all that fast current and just ripping my fly across some of that water they could sit in. Really, all it takes is for there to be one decent sized rock for them to get a current break and sit right behind it in there. It's awesome cover in these smaller streams. Steelhead like moving water, underrated spots really in the winter. Could totally catch them in the faster diamond chop. In fact, the first steelhead I ever hooked on a spey rod was in this run, and it was using that exact technique. I was probably 20 feet down further from where I am. You can see on that side over there, there's a soft spot. I cast it into that, came across, the water was even higher, came across the high current, my rod really high up, and right in the middle of the run in the diamond chop. Big mean steelhead grabbed it, started running, took me all the way into my backing, ran all the way down there.
Yeah, I saw the chrome. He's got a run in him still. He's got a run in him. Yeah. Yeah. I was like, don't grab that line, dude.
And then eventually worked him back up and lost him. I think where diamond chop becomes very effective, which for those of you who don't know, it's just the name of this rumbling water, kind of comes to little points, little diamonds. I like it to be at a smooth simmer. Like if you're on a stovetop, you're simmering a sauce, we're talking like a 3 or a 4. So down there, I'm thinking they're actually holding in it. This is just good measure to cover this. That's like, that's an 8 or a 9. You're ready to put some pasta in that and start boiling something. So those are my wise words for today. All right, just got back to the car, taking all the gear off. I think that's gonna do it for today. No grabs, no steelhead, but that's kind of what swinging flies is all about. We'll find them eventually. When we do, make sure try my best to record it. So I'll see you in the next video. Thanks so much.